Hey everybody, this is Chelsea. Thank you for stopping by my channel for my first video. This one is going to be all about my favorite blushes. Now most of my favorite blushes right now, they're actually drugstore, or I guess you could say like maybe Wal-Mart grocery store type blushes, things that range like $10 and under, that kind of cool stuff. But I have a couple that are maybe a little bit higher priced, maybe around I have one that's maybe about $15, $16, and then there's one that's kind of like $26, more like Ulta Sephora brand blush. A lot of the blushes that I have to show for you today would be perfect for spring, summer, really bright, vibrant, shimmery stuff. And some of them have kind of transitioned over from winter, so they're nice, neutral, kind of muted brown tones. And then I have some like just bright pink, some shimmery, that just like pow, blush, you know what I mean? Now, I guess we'll get started with the one that I'm wearing today. This is by ColourPop. They just released a new line of blushes. They have a ton of different colors, so if you don't really like the color I got wearing, it doesn't matter. They have some bright hot pinks. They've got some deep, what you would think as being like brick reds for the maybe darker skin tones. And what I have for you today is called Between the Sheets. It's a very nude, not as nude as I thought it would be based on the image on the website. I think the images they have on there tend to skew a little bit lighter than they are in reality, but let me get you a swatch right here. But I do find them, well, it's probably good that they're less pigmented than the eyeshadows, because that would be crazy in trying to apply. But let's see, I'm not quite sure how good of a swatch that is. But it's what I have on today, and I find that I had to really keep applying it and applying it with I use a combination of just my fingers and this small stipple brush. Oh, it's not small, but kind of like a medium stipple brush. I would really just swirl it around, try to get as much product on here as possible, and then just buff. Just buff. Good news is it does blend pretty well, and it's pretty hard to over apply. Now, one that I've been wearing quite often, one that's sort of like a recent release by Milani. It's one of the rose baked blushes. I'm not quite sure what the official. It's called Romantic Rose Powder Blush. You've probably seen these at Walgreens and everything recently, but first of all, just look at that pattern. That is an amazing feat. It's very unique, very eye-catching, very beautiful. That's one of the reasons I first stopped and I was like, wow, I've never seen anything like that before. And this is what probably the quintessential my favorite type of blush right now. It's still pink, but it's muted and it's matte. I used to be crazy, could only wear matte blushes, but this is something that I've really been liking. Let me go ahead and swatch it for you. Oh, I smeared it. But here we go. That's just like a big concentrated swatch. Let's see if I can try to do that. And then I guess I'll try to blend it out. I hope you can see it blended. It's a great neutral pink. Like, you don't want your cheeks to be fuchsia. It's just a good everyday blush. Like, you can't go wrong with this blush. The next one is another Milani blush, but it's part of their core baked blush lines. This is number 3 Berry Amore Baked Powder Blush. Before I swatch it for you, I'll try to show you. It's got like a lot of baked products, powder products have little veins of light pink and darker pink, and then it's got bands of like gold shimmer in it. And when you swatch it all together, it gets all mixed up and forms a really nice color. Okay, let's put that on the finger. There is a concentrated swatch for you. Can you see? Yeah, but it's like a nice, sort of similar to this in shade, but a little bit darker, a little bit more muted. And it has the golden shimmer to it, just for y'all to know if y'all were like how I used to be and can't stand any shimmer. Oh, and one thing I noticed about this blush, I don't remember what blog it was, but I kind of agree with them that this blush, let me swatch it again since I already wiped it off. This blush is a pretty, I wouldn't say exact, but a close dupe for Benefit's Rockateur. See, there's the new swatch right there. Here's Rockateur. One thing I didn't know about this Rockateur blush, I had been wanting it for months, and then I finally got my tax return, so I was like, that's one of the things I'm gonna get. And I never noticed this when I would swatch it in the store, but the product is very heavily fragranced. I mean, it almost smells like it would actually be somebody's perfume, and not even really a great perfume. Here we go. You can kind of, it doesn't look as close as on camera as it does in person, but pretty much they're like the same color almost, only this is slightly darker. I mean, I like both of these blushes on, really, but a lot of the times if I just want that color, but I don't want to have to deal with the smell for some reason. I mean, I'm not particularly sensitive to products that have fragrance in them, but this one is just more than usual. Who wants their blush to smell? Although I actually have another blush coming out that does have fragrance in it, but it's much more pleasant, in my opinion. Oh, and another thing, the Rockateur, it leans more of like a satin shimmer, while this actually has tiny, like you can see the shimmer, while this is more satiny and less visible. Alright, we'll move on to the one I just kind of mentioned earlier. I didn't mention it by name, but it's the other one that has a little bit of a fragrance in it. This is the Stay Blushed Liquid Cheek Tint in number 1 Pop of Pink. Now, this is like a cream blush that I've noticed it is not overly concentrated. Like if you apply it to your face, you're not like, I look like a clown. Do you know what I mean? How some of them are a little too pigmented for their consistency and you can't really blend them out very well. But this, I like to apply it, get a nice little medium squirt on the back of my hand, kind of round it out into like a little pool, and then kind of just dab that same little stipple brush. Just kind of swirl it kind of softly. See what I got right here? You can shear this out. Like you don't even have to apply this as heavy as I did. I just kind of wanted to get it to show up because I'm so timid when I'm applying this to my actual face that I use just as little bit as possible at a time, and then I'm like, once my skin kind of cools down, because anytime I touch my skin it just kind of flares red, so every time I apply any sort of blush I give it a minute, see how pigmented it actually is, and then go on with another layer. But see, it's like a great, kind of just a medium all-purpose pink. It's a little bit bright. Okay. It's a little bit bright compared to my other blushes, kind of more like a, I don't even know how to say. It sort of matches the inside of here. But there were other ones that said like peach or something and they came out like cool pink. Okay, sorry guys, apparently my battery died there. I'm still figuring out this camera as well as this whole process of YouTubing. But my next blush I got with the, it was part of the Tartelette series that Tarte released kind of into last year. It's still going on. You can buy everything from it. But it's the Celebrated blush from the Tartelette series. Look at that packaging. I am a sucker for packaging in that if anything was going to get me to buy something, it's also that. It also swatched really well in stores. But this blush, it's like the perfect, very light, very, I wouldn't say muted, very neutral, kind of brown undertone, just nude blush that is so, it's a lot lighter than this one. But if you have Romantic Rose and would like something a bit lighter, more spring appropriate, then go ahead and get this while you can, because it is gorgeous, and I'm not sure if it's limited edition or not. I'm pretty sure it would be by the way that they advertised everything, but anyway, very glad I got it. Let's see if you can see the swatch. Y'all see it right there? You might notice that it is a lot lighter than anything that I've shown you so far. And this is another one of those blushes, while though it is pigmented, it's actually very close to my own skin color, so I do have to, again, layer this. But not because it's not a very pigmented product at all. It's very soft. That's it kind of blended out, and as you can see, it does look pretty sheer. This is another instance where, like, if you just want a subtle, just barely there blush, then that's the one you want to get. My next one, it's another drugstore one. This was only $5, I believe. I haven't even been telling you the prices of everything. I'm just going to look them up later and then put them up down in the description bar. I'm sorry. But this one is like the antithesis of anything I would have picked out even just 6 months ago. It is a shimmer ball. It is like anything you get from Hard Candy, which is the brand that this is. And I'm pretty sure these are new. It's one of the Ombre blushes. I've only seen 2. This one is the, it's called, Punch. And it's kind of cooler in tone than the other one was. I think the other one was like, I don't even know what the other one was. It was just a warmer tone, looked kind of more like a sunset than this one does. I'll give you a little swatch here and you will see what I mean about, look at that. That looks like a frosted eyeshadow when you swatch it. But it does not go on the face this concentrated or shimmery, but it's when you mix it together, the hot pink mixes with the white and it just forms this kind of shimmery light pink shade. And I just think this would be great for spring summer because you don't even need a highlight with this. And if you even want to, I think if you just concentrated your blush on this side, this could be a highlight for any other kind of blush that you have. But it's a very pale pink altogether. You can't even see that. I'm pretty sure all you can see is the shimmer. But yeah, there's a very light coloration on the actual blush. Like if you wanted to concentrate on the blush side, let's see what that looks like. I'm trying to get you the darkest swatch I can. See, it's a little bit darker. See, yeah, right there. You can kind of see it. It's a lot more pigmented in person, a lot more vivid in person. This is one though, like I've noticed, like if I happen to have like sat like that or something, I do have glitter all over my hands, but I just thought I would just take a wild step out there and try something like this, and I do like it. I really do. It's something that I would probably only wear like with a sundress on and out in the sun. Yeah. It's not subtle. The color is, but the shimmer is not. Now my last blush before this runs out, my battery runs out, not the blush, is one of the In-Stain blushes by The Balm. I tried out a couple of their items earlier. This is one of the things I got. I got the Meet Matte eyeshadow palette besides this one. And I got this on Overstock.com for maybe about $14, $15, but it's normally closer to $20 everywhere else you go. This one is in the shade Argyle. And look, it looks like a little magazine cover. It's so pretty. And when you open it up, it's like an actual Argyle pattern. Do y'all see that? But this is just like a nice kind of, it's not really bright, but it's brighter than everything else that I've shown you except for maybe this one. And it's just a nice middle of the road petal pink, like girly, without being hot pink. That's one of the things I like about this one. It's still one of the brighter ones I have, but it's not like neon, if you know what I mean. Let me go ahead and swatch it for you before this runs out. The battery again. See, it looks pretty bright on the finger. Here's it concentrated. See, it's just nice. And then it blends very well, like pretty much everything else you get from the Balm. Now this is one of the few blushes that I've shown you, like you really do want to tap your brush before applying this straight to your face, because it is one of the very pigmented blushes that I have. I would kind of compare it to a Coastal Scents blush, but it's not as, it doesn't have fallout, but at the same time you want to tap it off. Like you just want to get as much product off before you start slamming it on your face, because that's how you put on blush. But there again, that's the swatch. It's not completely even, I didn't swatch it out. Blend it out very well, but It's just a nice girly pink that would be great on a spring day. Also a matte. It's another one of my matte blushes. Just like, I didn't even tell you, this one is matte too. It doesn't have any shimmer in it. Well, that's all of my blushes. I'm going to go ahead and try to wrap this up before my camera turns off again. Anyway, probably my favorite, the one that I've been using the most, would probably be this one because it's like the best everyday, will go with anything kind of blush. This one is also kind of in the same vein, but it's matte, as well as this one. Pretty much everything I've shown you so far would be great for everyday, except for maybe this ultra shimmery one, unless that's your everyday. I mean, hell, if you want to wear blue eyeshadow for blush every day, I probably wouldn't. I would probably stare at you, but I probably wouldn't, you know, give you a mean comment about it. And thank you for watching my first video. This has been a brief learning experience, and I'm going to try to come out with lots of videos soon about my tax return haul products. I'm probably not going to do one long haul because this took place over a couple of months. And yeah, I'm going to try to review all my favorite stuff for you. Thank you again for watching. Please subscribe. That would make me feel really nice if you would just like and comment nice things. And subscribe to my channel. Just be cool.